You're watching All to Play For, brought to you by Joe and VirginBet.
Good morning and welcome to All to Play For, brought to you by Joe and VirginBet. With me, Steve Sidwell. I would say it's going to be with Joe Cole, but he's in Qatar getting bullied by Graham Souness and we're keen.
Namesake, though, same namesake.
Exactly. So we've had to put in a favour from a friend of the show. We've got a former England international and Premier League winner, Joleon Lescott, stepping in for Joe while he's away. Looking forward to this?
Yeah, I'll do my best. I'm replicating you, aren't I? You're replicating Joe, and I'm you.
That's it. There we go. You're going to be the Marcus Rashford, the impact sub of the show. Listen, you're going to come into your own later on because you're going to be coming up in the VirginBet Fives game against our guest. So talking to guests, let's get him in. A player that absolutely loved a tackle back in the day. Marauding runs up and down the right flank. Spent most of his career in the Premier League, and get on this. Played every minute for England in the 2002.
I thought you were going to say spent most of his career suspended then.
I couldn't believe
that would have been far wrong.
I couldn't believe this. Played every minute of for England in the 2002 World Cup. It's a pleasure to have him on the show. Miss Danny Mills.
Welcome.
Danny, welcome.
Nice to be here.
No, thank you for coming down. Look, let's get straight into it. It's World Cup fever. How have you found the tournament so far?
A mixture, some good games, mostly good.
Yeah.
Surprise, obviously, results regards Saudi Arabia. Didn't see that.
Yeah.
I think it
I
ruined.
don't think no one did.
There's always one though, isn't there? What was it? Senegal beat France.
Yeah.
First game.
Yeah.
Cameroon beat Argentina. You know, in one tournament, long time, probably before you two were born.
That was my first World Cup.
Oh, was it? But it's
Italian
like, I think because the short turnaround, teams maybe not quite ready, not quite at it. But I mean, the Saudi Arabia result was, I don't think anybody saw that coming, especially after Argentina went 1-0 up.
Messi just, he showed brilliance, hasn't he? But he just, I don't know.
Oh, you can't have a Messi. Come on.
No.
I know what you mean, though. But on that performance, though, if you're just talking that performance, I'll be like, you're not going to question him because you're a brave man to do that. But you're like, what are you up to?
Yeah. Yeah. Has any out of the game so far, anyone really impressed you?
Not really. No one's really got going, have they?
No.
I think that's what it takes. Second game is where everyone's a little bit nervous in the first game. No one wants to lose.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to just sort of get off to a reasonable start.
Yeah.
I think England were great.
That's what I mean. I think
Saka was fantastic, which is unlike England.
Yeah.
England
great
and France,
early on.
you would say, they probably lived up to the expectation and the hype.
Look, you've both played in major tournaments. Is that pressure massively on that first game? Is it a case of
honestly, it's
3
horrific.
points are huge for the first game?
Yeah, just not to lose.
You play in one or two tournaments?
One tournament.
I mean, in 2002, we had the group of death. We had Sweden, that I don't think we'd ever beaten in a tournament ever since football began. Argentina, who were the favourites, this was Batistuta, Simeone, and Nigeria, Okocha, and people like that. It was like, and we were like,
West.
if we get out of this group, and then of course we drew the first game, and then you're thinking we've got Argentina next, you've got to win it.
Yeah.
You've got to, so the pressure to win that second game. If you don't win the first game, so much, and I think that's where England have gone great. Won the first game, they should beat the USA, and then might beat the Welsh by 8 or 9.
Yeah. Reece James is obviously missing from the tournament. It parallels with you kind of taking Gary Neville's spot. What's it like for someone?
He's a bit better than me, by the way.
But I just want to see the mindset. Dan, what's the mindset of someone that's going into tournament or before the tournament going, I'm going to be a bit of a backup to then going, you're starting.
John, I wasn't really even expecting to make the squad, if I'm honest. Gary Neville was always going to play. Without a shadow of a doubt. Obviously did his metatarsal, I think, in the March. And then it was probably sort of Phil Neville, Wes Brown were sort of next in line for that. I'd had a decent season. Having said that, discipline-wise was horrific. I had 14 yellows and 2 reds.
I said he loved the tackle.
And a 6-game ban for abusing Jeff Winter, which I think was completely justified, by the way. So I'd had a mixed season. Although I'd played well, discipline had been a bit iffy. So I wasn't even expecting to go. So when Nev got injured, I thought I might make the squad. And then the squad was announced and went down to meet up in London. And you get all the kit with a number 2 on it, and you're going, oh, I might have a chance of playing. And I hadn't started a game. That's a lie. I'd started one game. That was at Ellen Road. It was a token gesture because obviously when you're on the road, it's like all the Leeds lads started that game. I hadn't played a competitive game. And we played South Korea in one of the warm-up games. I played well. Wes Brown played the next one against Cameroon, had a bit of a shocker. So I won't lie, I was a bit like, I've got purely selfish. I've got a chance now to play. But yeah, I think the pressure, even back then, was worse.
Yeah.
Because the expectancy was you've got world-class players, a lot of them. You should be doing a lot better than we had done previously. Yeah. I mean, and Johnny's generation was even better than ours.
Yeah.
It's different. Again, I think the pressure was different then.
Yeah.
I think we genuinely believe now and we want it. It was like before my generation and say yours, it was like, well, we hope, but we expect you to fail and we're waiting for that.
Like, I want to go on to the golden generations and your times. Just to stick on this one with England in their group, USA next, potential banana skin. No,
I don't think so. Not the way that they're playing.
I think the first half, I think I would have said if they played the whole 90 minutes like they did the first half, I would be like, a bit more sceptical. But nah,
they Americans can't hold a lead. Yeah. You know, they really struggle with that, and I just think
it's entertainment for them, isn't it?
You look at our play, you look at the players that we've got, and the impact subs that you can have. I think the pace, the power. I think if you get one up against them, I think you go and score 2 or 3. Yeah.
I don't think they don't really do the game management thing. No. They play to win, every game and outscore all the time. Where sometimes you need to.
Pulisic is obviously their talisman. He's been excellent in qualifications, not been great club form. We see what he can do first half in setting up with a goal. So we've got to be wary of that. With Gareth Southgate in the second game now, we've heard that Harry Kane could be potentially struggling with this ankle injury. Would you make changes regardless of that, or keep the same starting 11? I mean, Grealish and Rashford come on, done brilliant.
It's really interesting. I spoke to Gareth before he went away and asked him, you know, there was a lot of comparisons with the women's, obviously, because they played obviously the same team or right the way through. And he went, well, to be fair, if you've got the best squad and the best team, you can do that. He said, we don't have that. And that's not being detrimental to anyone, that's just being realistic. Yeah. He said, we will have to be flexible. Amount of minutes, game time, that type of thing, injuries. There's a lot of those. I'm not sure we'll change it around dramatically. No. Callum Wilson might come in or Foden might play as maybe as a false nine. Still could play up top. Rashford could play up top. Yeah. I think there might be 1 or 2 changes, but not much more than that. Defensively, would you change anything? Or keep it as a back 4? Would you go with a 3?
No, I'd keep it. Yeah. I'd keep it because it seemed to work. Yeah. It seemed like everyone was comfortable in their role, so I would keep that. But again, like Danny said, changes are normal now. I think when previous tournaments and England generations, it was like same 11 every time, and if you was rotation, you was dropped. You weren't, but now players are used to being rotated. Yeah, so I think it's different. And you're right. I think the culture and environment in that squad, they don't. Not that you want to come off in a game, but when they come off in a game, they seem to all get on. Whoever's going to come on, they are from. Well, if you come on, you score, then it's want you to do well.
Fine. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, look, VirginBet. Let's give you some odds. If you think England will beat USA 3-0, VirginBet will give you odds of 11-1, which I think is pretty good after the way we were scoring.
Get on that.
Iran. Yeah. Look, after that we've got Wales, which is going to be the big derby. 8 or 9.
I mean, after their celebrations last time, I want Wales to go out. I was supporting every team that plays against Wales.
Well, I mean, there could be a lot right.
Yes. Would you want to be? No. After what they did, the way they celebrated last time, I can't. No. I want England to knock them out. End of. Get rid of it.
Okay then.
Wow. Where do we go from here? I mean, Gareth Bale scored the penalty to get. They were really poor first half, weren't they? They come back into it of the second half and later into the game. I just want to touch on Gareth Bale quickly. He's won 5 Champions League winners medals. He's gone abroad. He's done the business at Madrid. Scored important goals for Wales. I see this question the other day. Is he the greatest British player
to ever play the game?
Well,
he's got to be.
I don't know, man. He's got to be up there.
You've got to look at the accolades Gareth Bale.
I guess it comes down to, are you judging on trophies, medals, performances,
but his moments,
big games? Oh, I get that.
His moments, man, are up there.
He's without doubt, he's in the conversation.
I just think whatever category you choose to select is in that conversation, and not every other player is. Yeah. Not every other player has had moments for their country, club, massive games.
Giggs wasn't bad, to be fair.
Well, there's a long list, isn't
not for Wales, but I mean...
Well, that's what I'm saying. Gareth Bale was for Wales.
Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues...
Giggs is a legend and had some mad moments, but Gareth Bale, I'm trying to think when he hasn't had a big game at a big time. Even and ago, it's different. But LA Galaxy, he just scored the equaliser in the last minute for.
Those first 15 games at Tottenham weren't great, were they?
Yeah.
His overall record. What is it?
I know. I think he's right. He's an outstanding player, and he's come at big moments. I mean, the trouble is, we're getting old. We can go back a long way.
Of course you can.
For absolute legends.
Yeah.
You know, in the Premier League English players, some great players.
Yeah.
Frank,
But he's
Frank
in the
Lampard,
conversation.
You know, 10 goals every 10 goals for 10 seasons.
Yeah.
Takes some doing.
You mentioned LA there. Was you surprised that he had a little stint in America before this World Cup?
No, I think the timing of that meant he was going to be in the rhythm of a season, and he was obviously prioritising the World Cup, not his club career. So it made sense to me for him to do that. Be a bit more selective in when he plays, and the level obviously isn't the level he's used to and he can perform at. So I think the reasons for him doing that, made sense.
I completely got it. Again, because he's not going to get kicked all over the park.
No.
Steve McManaman said it when he left. He said, "I'm not dropping down the leagues because people are just going to want to boot me left, right, and centre." He's gone to LA. Sun shines 350 days a year. The pace of the game's a little bit slower, and he can ease himself into it, look after himself. And for him, it's all about Wales, isn't it?
And obviously, he wasn't coming from a place where he was solely loved. Remember, so he's probably gone there and thought, you know what, I just want to be enjoyed. I just want to be the guy for a bit. You know what I mean? Real Madrid was like, get out. I'm like, he's won 5 Champions Leagues.
I know. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Well, you obviously don't think Wales are going to get out of the group.
No, we said he doesn't hope.
Hope not.
Well, look, again, VirginBet odds.
Sorry, Welsh people.
If you think that England will get beaten by Wales 2-1, VirginBet will give you odds of 16-1. Danny Mills has got his head in his hands.
Danny's covering them bets as well. He's covering all them bets.
He was happy with the first one. But not that one. I can't see Wales beating England. No, we should.
Don't say that,
We should be good. For
there's always no one saw Saudi Arabia beating Argentina.
Yeah.
There's always a chance in football.
Yeah.
You know, it's that any given Sunday moment, isn't it? You know, where the underdog wins. But when you look at player for player, and a lot of these Welsh players haven't played either, so a lot of them are going to be blowing by that third game.
Yeah.
They're going to be struggling a little bit. England, it should, unless England rest everybody and change it around because they've won
even
2
then,
games.
there's still some talent there, even if the rest.
Well, I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
Trying to backtrack now, just in case.
Let's see. Right, let's have a bit of fun now. We're going to have our own version of the Virgin Bet Fives game. We're going to ask our guest and our co-host to go head-to-head to each other to pick their randomly selected 5-a-side teams. You earn a point per goal your player scores in their selected match. Okay, so last week Joe took on Colton Cole in the Virgin Bet Fives game, and I can reveal Joe Cole is 2-0 up. He picked Enna Valencia that scored 2 goals, and Colton Cole got none. Okay,
No surprise.
So this week the fixtures we're going to be looking at is France v Denmark, Argentina versus Mexico, Belgium versus Morocco, and Spain versus Germany. Okay, so in this bowl, we've got a selection of players from them teams. Take it one at a time to pick it out. You're going to get your 5-a-side team, and then hopefully there's a few. I think there's a few dodgy ones in there, but hopefully you'll get some strikers, and you've got a chance of winning it for your category. All right, who's up first? Picking.
Thank you. I'll go. Oh, deep bolt, stretching.
Can't believe you've not done the Rod Stewart or Peter Crouch hands.
Mbappe. Oh no, it's not Mbappe.
That's a retake.
Kingsley Coman.
Oh, it's
Kingsley
not a bad one.
Coman.
If he comes off the bench.
Scored 5 international goals. Can he add to that tally? So that's a good start. Oh, he's happy.
Eden Hazard.
Oh, Eden Hazard. He's a strange one, Hazard.
Nah,
he's not
he turns
really
up, man. It's
playing
like
much for Madrid, but
doesn't matter. It's like Bale.
2 big names.
We have. Oh yes, happy with that. Kevin De Bruyne.
Kevin De Bruyne, the Man City playmaker.
Do assists count? Do I get anything for assists?
He's got 25 international goals to his name, and the assist king.
Yeah, he'll be involved in a goal. There's no points for assists though.
There's no points for assists, only goals.
Oh, it's not bad this one either. Messi. Oh, Messi.
Oh, were they
Messi
warmed
and
up?
Hazard, yeah.
Were these ones all warmed up before they was picked out?
I thought you
Not
said
bad
they
like that.
Where's the dodgy ones?
Lionel Messi
Over
already scored the penalty. Can he add to his 1 goal so far?
Yeah, I might be struggling here. Sofiane Boufal, Morocco.
Oh,
Yes.
Do own goals count?
Has scored 5 goals for Morocco so far. Got potential. Can he add to his tally?
You're bigging him up there. You're doing well.
You need to get a bit of a dodgy one compared to the ones you've already had.
it's not bad.
Oh, it's a fix.
Antoine Griezmann.
Oh my gosh. Score. He was man of the match in the last World Cup final between France and Croatia, 2018.
I'll stop there if you want. I can just have three.
Oh no! It's a bold statement. It's a bold statement. He's gone big. Who have we got now? Hirving Lozano, Mexico.
Hirving Lozano, Napoli winger, scored 16 goals for Mexico. Napoli are flying this season. So
he's not starting, is he? For Napoli.
Great chance. Great chance.
You're
for
right.
goals.
You can stick at your three, I think.
Who's this one? Martin Braithwaite.
Martin Braithwaite, Espanyol striker, leading the line for the Danes in Qatar. So another one that can...
Just strikers. They're all forwards though, aren't they? So.
Well, there is a few midfielders in there as well.
Oh, Kevin De Bruyne. Not a bad one.
Højbjerg's one of them.
Oh, yes. Taking this. France's all-time top goal scorer.
Oh, wow.
Joint.
Well, he will be when he scores again.
When he gets you your point.
Olivier
Giroud, 51 international goals.
Still looking good. He's got a little bit of grey flick in the air now as well.
Cool,
He's looking good.
Cool. Good standard. So this is the last one, Joleon.
Leroy Sané.
Leroy Sané. Former teammate yours?
Yeah, no, just before. I left just before.
Leroy Sané. 5 goals in 13 Bundesliga appearances this season for Bayern Munich. So plenty of attacking options there. Danny, are you pleased with your team?
Yeah, Giroud and Koeman and De Bruyne. I think they're my 3 bankers to be in goal involvements. Hopefully one of them scores.
Joleon, who's scoring the goals for you?
You've got to say Messi, and Messi or Hazard. I'm going to go for.
Happy with your teams?
Yeah.
I think I just edge it. I know you got Messi.
This is close.
Where?
Giroud, De Bruyne, Koeman.
Koeman doesn't even play.
He will play next game.
I love this. The debate's already
They've got injuries galore.
You're both happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
He's got Messi. He's looking for Messi hat-trick.
That is all I want to hear. Look, as usual, if you want to get involved at home, you can do. Just download the VirginBet app. Head over to VirginBet 5s to reveal a player that makes up your squad of 5 every day. If one of your players score in their selected game, VirginBet will credit your account with cash money. It's as simple as that. Head over to the VirginBet app now to have your chance to win some World Cup cash. You've got to be over 18 to play. Please visit VirginBet for full terms and conditions, and please gamble responsibly.
You're watching All to Play For, brought to you by Joe and VirginBet.
So Portugal take on Ghana tomorrow. Breaking news has come out during this World Cup, obviously about the main man Ronaldo. What's your take? It seems like it's good for both cases in terms of Ronaldo and Man United at the moment, but it's terrible what's happened, isn't it?
I think it's better for United.
Yeah, definitely. I said last season, when there was speculation that he was maybe going to go, I was like, that's perfect for Ten Hag. Because I don't think Ten Hag ever really wanted him in the way that he played.
Yeah.
But because of his numbers and because of the amount of goals that he scored, it's hard to say I want to get rid of him. Because the moment you have a bad game or you don't score, it's like, well, you've got rid of Ronaldo, or why aren't you playing Ronaldo? Yeah. I think it gets rid of a headache that Ten Hag doesn't need. And all the antics has played into Ten Hag's hands perfectly. Because he comes out of it going, I've done nothing wrong.
I agree. I think Ten Hag is going to come out with a lot of credit in the bank. But in terms of from Ronaldo, I'm like, what options are you going to have now? Because you got to think from a manager's point of view, who's going to want to manage that?
Well, Vinny Company doesn't even want him at Burnley, does he?
I see him come out and say that.
He said, Vinny, take him. Let me help you out right now. Vinny's taking him.
He said he needs someone that runs.
Yeah, so he's got no legs.
Shut up, Vinny. Vinny, listen to me right now. Where do I need to look? Shut your mouth, Vincent.
Well, the thing is with Ronaldo, he's obsessed with the Champions League, so he's going to want to be.
I don't think he's getting that option. I honestly don't believe he's getting that option.
I don't see what big Champions League teams would take him that can afford him.
Yeah. Well, he's got a lower demand for starts.
But then you're not getting what you want. Like he wants to dominate the Champions League. You go to Sporting. You're hoping you're getting out the groups.
Exactly.
Yeah. So why do you want to do that?
And you know what he's like? Well, we saw it in the interview. All he wants to be is number one. He wants to be. He will be scared. I think genuinely scared that Messi's going to overtake him, and Messi's going to get more Champions League goals, more World Cup goals, more goals. In general.
So does that put even more fire in his belly to perform at this World Cup?
I don't think so, because I think he wants to perform anyway. He wants to be the guy. So I don't know if that is added fuel.
But is this now a shop window for him? The people that are saying, for the likes of, is he going to be the same? Is he going to go somewhere else?
Does he need a shop window?
I mean,
it's a strange one because if I was at a big club, I'd look at him and go, "Oh, baggage, no thanks. Don't need that grief." Because you're only going to get what you're going to get out. Realistically, you're going to get 6 months out of him, maybe a year tops. I know he looks after himself, but he's not going to be phenomenal for another 18 months. So you're going to. Is the grief worth it? Is the hassle worth it?
Has there been grief? We don't know how
I'm not
he's
saying
been
grief,
behind
but
the scenes in the training ground. He just wants to play.
Yeah, but there's just questions after questions about him. Like even the timing of the interview, I'm like, it's the World Cup.
Yeah.
Like let it be about the team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The moment he does, if Ronaldo's in your squad, the moment he doesn't play, why does he not play Ronaldo?
Yeah.
If he doesn't play well, why are you playing Ronaldo? Every question's about Ronaldo. And if you're trying to build something, if you're trying if you're trying to create a team, not happening.
Yeah, I don't see, but you only like managers. He needs to be a manager with no kind of ego either. That just wants.
Do you know the biggest thing that annoys me as well? Everyone goes, "Oh, he's a Man United legend." Andy Cole's got a better record at Man United.
Andy Cole's a legend.
Yeah.
But he's not put anywhere near the same category.
Yeah.
He's got Andy Cole's got more trophies, more goals, same amount of games. But
but they're using that legend status for what he did.
Well, it's what he did at Madrid. I get it. What he did at Madrid was unbelievable. I think what he did at Man United was great. What he did away from Man United was sensational.
Yeah.
And now he's gone back. I think he's spoiled it a little bit. He's
come back to the Premier League where we know the demands are huge. If he goes back into Europe, does he perform still at a level where there's less demands in La Liga or?
No, he can perform. He just can't perform every week. Like he's got to realise you're not Ronaldo from 7 years ago.
What we were talking about earlier on. As you get older,
you can't be doing it every week, every minute of every game. Like that's no one's doing that.
Messi's having a little bit of a drop off.
No one's doing that. No one can play every minute of every game and hit the numbers that him and Messi hit for 10 years.
But he's just so determined to leave a legacy, isn't he? He just wants to be.
It's already set.
He's desperate to be the best ever.
And I think that's the difference between him and Messi. Messi's the greatest individual that I've ever seen. Messi does things
better than R9.
Yes.
Oh, you said that way too easy. Then.
Messi does things that I think R9 is better than Ronaldo, but I think I've seen Messi do things that couldn't even think about dreaming of doing. The way that he plays, some of the movement he's had, the goals he scored, his numbers are sensational, but some of his thought processes. Messi's up there with Maradona, with Pele. As an individual,
mine's above them for me.
Again, it's
a different debate.
Ronaldo scores unbelievable goals. Ronaldo doesn't do what Messi does. His his numbers might be better.
That's different. Yeah.
But when you see Messi and you watch him live and whatever, and some of the skills that he has, it's like he's playing the game in slow motion.
Yeah.
It's like, thankfully I never played against him. I
think slow motion.
He's the sort of player that you're trying to see it and it's gone.
Yeah, he plays through a different lens, isn't he?
Yeah,
100%. It's definitely that. When I played against him, it's like he's just going fast enough to beat you. And whoever you are, that could be me, that could be Michael Richards, who's faster than me. Whoever it is, he'll just go with fast enough.
When you come up against them players, is there that element, not a fear factor, but is there an element where you don't want to get too tight because you know he can embarrass you at a drop of a hat?
No, not necessarily. When you get there, because you've obviously, whatever it is, the game is a big game. If you're playing them boys, it's a big game.
You back yourself as well.
Yeah. You want to, but you have to be aware.
Until you get megged 3 times. Then
what it is. You have to be aware.
Then you don't back yourself so much.
But no, again, you just have to respect what any outcome can happen. It's not in their favour.
Right, just finish on Ronaldo. Where do you see him going? Where do you think?
I could only see it being a commercial move now, and that sounds disrespectful. So it's going to have to be MLS. I just don't see how it can be a European team.
I mean, if you go to the States and play to these 40...
I don't know, because even that, there's going to be pressure there, because Latin will be the first to say something.
Yeah.
I was there on Zlatan's debut in LA. Yeah. I mean, that was written in the stars, wasn't it? Unbelievable. Came on the volley and everything. So now the pressure is sensational.
Yeah, Bale's done it, so he's going to have to go there.
But I don't think it can't go to Saudi or the Middle East, because without being disrespectful, no one's really going to watch that as much. It's not. No one's going to. He loses his globalness. I think, whereas in the States, Johnny's right. It's the only place he can really go to maintain that some sort of iconic status.
I suppose I see Rio said the other day. It all depends what his motivation is. Is it going to be financial? Is it going to be Champions League? Is it going to be
money?
Is it? Yeah. Well,
but again, his motivation might not be a realistic option. Like if his motivation is Champions League, he may not have that option. No. Like it's not going to be a favourite. It's going to be someone that hopefully gets into it. Like greatest respect, Sporting, Roma. someone that wants to get in there and hopes to get out of the group stages.
And they'll be up against it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like they're going to be creating chances for him left, right, and centre.
And then you can't carry someone
he's
that
gonna
isn't
he's going to have to work hard,
Yeah.
and that's not his forte anymore.
Look, we mentioned it earlier on about the golden generation. I just want to go pick both your brains now because you're both part of it, either end in the middles. Did it add added pressure to individuals or the squad in general before you even got off the team bus to go to games and before you even kicked the ball in the matches?
Maybe. It probably didn't add pressure to me. I wasn't the one that they were targeting. They were kind of describing as part of the golden generation. But in terms of the timing, and I joke about it, if you think about what the top 5-6 best centre-halves, you're going to say like Moore, Tony Adams, Sol Campbell, Rio and JT.
Yeah.
3 of them I was competing with, you know what I mean? So my timing couldn't be much worse, to be fair, in terms of getting more caps. But I was just grateful to be a part of that, you know what I mean? So I'm sure the pressure added to that.
That makes 2 of us.
I
was happy to sit on the bench or sit in the stands and just be a token gesture.
I mean, the squad that you was probably, again, go back to 2002, I mean, that...
Ours was the sort of the beginning, I guess, of that golden generation. But I look at our team that played, realistically would have been David Seaman, who's one of the best around at that time. Obviously, then Rio and Sol, Ashley Cole.
Not bad.
3 of the best defenders on the planet, possibly at that time. Beckham, Scholes, Owen. You know, Nicky Butt was in there. Owen Hargreaves. People forget about Owen.
Yeah.
Owen had just won the Champions League with Bayern Munich.
He was top, man.
Some fantastic players in that side. And then, I think then 04 and 06, that was when it was at its absolute peak. Because then Frank, Stevie G came into that. Rooney came into that as well. But the centre halves were, I mean, Rio, Sol, JT, Johnny Woodgate, Ledley King.
There was a lot going on.
It was like
it was
We was blessed.
It was unfair.
We was blessed.
It was insane, absolutely ridiculous.
So Joe's mentioned it a couple of times. So when you were in the camps, I mean, he's always said it was that the little clique. Wasn't it? The United lads unite with the United players. The Chelsea boys had lunch with the Chelsea boys. Where did Danny Mills sit when he was at Leeds?
I sat next to Nigel Martin, who's my teammate at Leeds. And it was like that. But I would also say, because we knew each other, social media wasn't a big thing. Players didn't move around as much. You weren't texting each other and sending heart emojis all the time and this, that and the other and whatever. We knew it. We were a close group. There's 4 lads from Leeds and Gareth, because obviously Gareth was at Middlesbrough at the time, so we used to travel down to England games together. I knew Gareth. He lived around the corner from me. So there was 5 of us that were quite close together. The Man United 5 or 6 lads were close together. The Liverpool lads, Chelsea lads. So you knew these people. So that's why you sat with them. But we played golf with Scholesy and Butty at times. I don't think there was massive cliques. It was just who you knew as much as anything.
I think that's the same. And I think as time goes on, like you're saying, social media allows you to stay in contact. Like you think back to when we were young, the only time we seen each other was in a camp. We didn't speak.
You had to pick the phone. You had to pick the phone up.
So
in my day, you have to dial it on the ring.
I wasn't there then.
So I'm really intrigued by this. Obviously nowadays, where there's a lot of social media, there's a lot of computers and bits and bobs that the lads can have downtime with. When you was in your competitions, what was your downtime?
We had the same like interaction like snooker and computers and stuff.
Yeah, but the lads now they could be on their phones for sort of like you get called down.
This is how old I am. So the internet just started really in 02. We got laptops.
Pre-internet. I worked pre-internet.
Facebook didn't exist then. It was like Friends Reunited in 02.
MySpace.
You think the iPhone didn't come out until 2009? That's how, so 7 years before that.
That's a lot.
We had DVDs and stuff. We had a cinema room and we had a full arcade in the hotel downstairs. But there was competition on everything. Whether it was
you won it.
Whether it was Sega Fishing with Dave Seaman, or whether it was like the old Pac-Man
field,
whatever it was, there was competition. But what that did, it brought people together. And you had everyone was getting involved in stuff. And then while you were waiting, you go and sit and have a coffee, and you talk football. And I remember even Teddy Sheringham come over one day and said, Dan, just next time you go attacking, just think about this. Think about how you're going to cross it and where you're going to put it. Just have a watch your back, see where he does it. And you go, okay, appreciate. He had no reason to do that apart from trying to be helpful. Simple as that. So I think maybe communication was better back then. I never felt that the cliques were a problem.
Yeah.
I never saw that.
I
never felt that
I
was an
the
issue.
same, because again, I was first initially it was Everton, and then when I moved to City, it was like we weren't competing with the lads that were like they were all competing for the title, all competing for the Champions League. So that's the honours. I think that impacted how they were allowed to integrate, and I also believe the fans. I genuinely believe back then, Liverpool, Chelsea fans didn't want an opposition players to be man of the match. Chelsea didn't want Steven Gerrard to be the best player, or they wanted Frank Lampard to be the best player. They didn't want Rio Ferdinand to stand out. They wanted their teams.
The only issue that we did have was keeping Alan Smith and Martin Keown apart. Because I mean, Smithy's debut, he came on for Leeds against Arsenal. Gave one to Keown, gave one to Tony Adams, and of course all the lads used to do was wind Martin up.
Which is easy to do.
Easy,
well, you got
that's
done by a 17-year-old Martin, and it, so literally in training, they had to be kept apart. If not, it was going to kick off big time.
So you said there's definitely, you can see a difference, can't you, between the culture and the environment from the squads that you was at to the one that's now, and even now probably to the press to these squads and the fans to this squad as well.
I think Gareth deserves the utmost respect and all the credit for that, because I think he's integrated the press and the fans and he's made it that kind of club feel. But I think he spent time in America around NFL and seen how they integrate the media side of things before tournaments, before massive occasions like Super Bowl.
I think what people forget is Gareth's got a lot of experience. You know, ridiculous amount of caps, but also in a lot of squads as well. Capped in every single club he was at, has been around, has worked with so many managers, has worked in kids football, has got
worked with this group of players.
What's he got? He's got a 24-year-old and 19-year-old himself. So he gets the younger generation and understands that side of it. He worked in the media for a long time. You know, so he's media, and he's just brought all that together. And he's just thought, you know what, I need to create the best environment for the players to be at.
Did you play with Gareth at Borough?
Played him at Borough, yes. One of the reasons I went there.
Could you ever envisage him being a future England manager or going on to what he's done?
Manager, yes, without a doubt. He's the most professional person. I used to drive him up. I was his chauffeur to start with.
More than James Milner?
Yes, different. Gareth was first in the training ground, would have a massage every day afterwards, and I used to get annoyed. I'm going home. So in the end, I drove him myself. I said, "You can drive yourself, Gate." I said, "I'm not waiting 2 hours. You have a massage every day." But you know, even in the little boxes, you know, when you're having like little rondos and whatever, and messing about, and you know, I might try and nutmeg somebody or flick it or do something that I would never dream of doing on the pitch. He would never do that. Everything was like side foot pass. You'd never see him dicking about in training. It would never ever happen. He was just like the ultimate professional. You know, simple as that. Ran the dressing room, fine system, respect, all that type of thing. Yeah, and he'll admit himself that the job at Borough was too soon. But he couldn't turn it down.
No.
Because he wasn't sure when he was going to get another chance. He wanted to play another year, but he wasn't quite sure if he did that, would he get the opportunity to manage a Premier League club, you know, that early on in his career. And so he knows it was a little bit too soon, but he learned from it.
Regardless of what happens in this tournament, carry on being England manager, Gareth, or do you reckon there could be a possible change for the next tournament?
I think there'll be a change. And if it comes, it's only going to come from him. I don't think anyone's looking to get rid of Gareth Southgate.
I find it bizarre. There's a lot of noise about, he's not done a good job. He didn't make enough substitutions, or he didn't do this, or he didn't do that. It's like, we're one kick away. We've missed penalties. That's it. You know, people, he was tactically naive. It's 1-1 against Italy. And then if we go back to Croatia, our midfield, without being disrespectful, was Jesse Lingard, Ashley Young, and a young Jordan Henderson against Modric, Brozovic and Rakitic. That's why we got beat, because they were better than us. Italy were probably better than us. When you look at the defence that they had, the midfield players that they had, they were better. You know, simple as that. We did well to get to. I think, realistically, we've punched above our weight. When you look at the quality of the teams...
Really?
I don't know necessarily believe that.
We've got,
but when you look at...
And that's what I'm saying.
But are they unbelievable?
Yeah. After what
compared to France, compared to Brazil, compared to Argentina. We've got a lot of young potential.
So are France.
I think you could say that.
Argentina, go on then. Take away Messi.
Maybe not this time, but previous tournaments, they've had some outstanding. Brazil have had some outstanding players. Spain have had some. Germany have had some outstanding players. I think we're in that top 8.
I think our squad is better than Germany's right now.
It is now, but I mean, in the last two tournaments where people say we should have won it. It's like, really?
I'd put our squad right up there.
Yeah.
If we're talking our squad, look at the
Right
players
now.
that's come off the bench.
Now I would, but I think in the past, I think you think 4 years ago.
Yeah, France's 4 years ago was still.
You look at the quality of those
It's the
sides.
best balanced
in
squad
there.
I've
And even in the Euros.
So we're saying this is our best chance to
But
basically
even
win
now,
a major
Mount's
competition.
23, Saka's 20.
I don't know if it's our best. Like,
Bellingham's 19. We all know when it's young, it's hard to perform
Yeah.
at the very, very top at such a young age.
Yeah.
So I think this team will get better and will get better.
would it surprise you then if they win more than that?
I think if they keep everybody fit, no. I think they've got an opportunity. I think you're going to need a bit of luck along the way.
Yeah,
There's going to be a couple of tough
Yeah,
games in there.
I think we can afford to lose any. I'll probably say Declan Rice. I think I said it earlier. Maybe not Declan Rice, because I think he's a specialist.
Bizarrely, centre half is the issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think
That's
we
your
can,
problem.
But again, because the combined level of the centre halves we've got isn't there's no much. The gap isn't that big.
Yeah.
So I think if we lose one, I still think we're okay.
Harry Kane would be a worry as well if you lose Harry.
I see, he's a worry, 100%. But I still think we've got players that can fill that void.
Yeah. I mean, Callum Wilson's been brilliant this
Yeah.
season. He's got to be
Marcus
buzzing to be there.
Rashford.
And Rashford's come on.
Yeah.
Couldn't ask for a better start. I think it's...
Yeah, I think the balance of this squad is as high as I've seen.
I think we've got as good a chance as we've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But going into the last tournament, did I really expect England to win the Euros just because it was at home? Not really. Did I expect them to win the World Cup, even get past the quarter-final? Realistically, no. It's something, people saying this time, if you don't win the final, Gareth gets sacked.
That's stupid.
On what basis?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Does that mean every manager that doesn't win it gets sacked?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So 31 other managers get sacked because they didn't win the competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's childish.
Okay. So, listen, it's a great debate. I love it. Right, it's time for what really happened. Danny, we're going to go back to a time in your career.
How long have you got?
And you want to find out more about it? I want
to say yellow card.
I want to go
red.
back to the 2002 World Cup, England versus Brazil quarter-final. You've just knocked out Argentina in the previous round. How confident was you going into that Brazil game?
It's a strange one because their team was unbelievable
Yeah.
at
Probably
the
the
time.
best team.
So, and you get through Argentina, you get through the Nigeria game thinking, right, okay, Denmark, tough game, smashed them off the park, first 20 minutes, whatever, 3-0 up. And we're done there. So in the quarterfinals, Brazil. And you start thinking, you know what, if we beat Brazil, we could win this. Just imagine if we win the World Cup.
Oh my God.
Yeah, your mind goes,
can't
yeah,
help
yeah.
not think about it. You start thinking,
You should think about it.
if we're in a semi-final against, and we're knocked out, and then you start thinking, right, okay, let's look at their team. oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Gilberto Silva holding, Cafu and Carlos,
Yeah.
two of the most attacking fullbacks on the planet
Yeah.
ever. And then you go Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, Juninho.
Yeah.
It's like
Done.
I didn't know. I just recently watched the documentary, the Ronaldo phenomenon documentary. I didn't realise the build up to that was when he was really injured and he was touch and go to go. He was the last name, wasn't he, to go into that tournament. So he didn't go into that in good form at all.
golden boot, I think, didn't he?
He ended up having an amazing.
Didn't score against us, though, I
actually-
have to say that.
Well, he didn't. That was one of his worst games. He said. But yeah, I mean, you're right.
I put that on the defence. That's why let's credit the defence with everything. But no, I mean
That team.
It was a tough game, but we went into it thinking, you know what, we're doing all right.
Yeah.
If we can keep them quietish and we work really hard, we got a chance. Of course, we go 1-0 up, and you're thinking, oh, we've got a real chance.
What what were the tactics go into that game? Because no, I just want to know, just broadly, because we had a good team
Stop
as well.
everyone.
No, we had a good team as well. Was it literally stay in the game? Let's be a bit cautious, or was it? Listen, we're England. Let's
No, Sven's tactics were always the same.
Here we go.
We got 4-4-2. We work out and we killed them.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Right.
All
okay.
this stuff was done on the training ground.
Yeah.
Steve McLaren, who I still think is one of the best coaches that I've ever worked with. Defensively, we were nailed on. We were drilled every day, 45 minutes, back five. With Dave Seaman, these are your jobs. This is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to deal with how they're going to play. And that was it. And then it was really just after that, it was go and play because you had Beckham, who was going to go and play. Trevor Sinclair played on the left hand side. Michael and Emil had a great partnership. You knew what they were going to do. So it was 4-4-2.
Was it Scholes and Gerrard?
Scholes and Butt. Gerrard didn't make the tournament. So again, two.
Was he injured?
I think he was a little bit younger, and I think he had a little injury going into it.
Nicky Butt had an outstanding. Was that the sort of he was
Nicky
outstanding?
was
Nicky Butt was.
Nicky Butt was
And that's when people are about
brilliant.
a holding midfield player. Nicky Butt was different class, but
Yeah,
for
man.
United and for
Newcastle, England.
Yeah, and for England. So we just thought we'll keep it solid, do what we can, and obviously the goal just before half time kills us. Absolutely kills us. Yeah. You know, it's the movement, the run, everything else, and then the last person you need it to fall to on his left peg is Rivaldo, and he slots it in, and we come in at half time.
You don't see Colby getting thrown because he that little Ronaldinho, the step over.
It's him. You don't see it. To me, mortal players, but he was the Avenger. He was like for that spell, what 3 years.
Yeah. And we came in at half time deflated, and I think obviously it was said we needed a rousing speech. We needed something out there to get us going, and we go and kill them. We thought go and kill them, get them to Martin, and kill them, and that was it. And we needed somebody in there to come on lads, we've got a chance. We still got a chance here. And people say any regret. The only regret I can't say it. We've got in that game. We didn't just lump it in the box. Last 10 minutes.
Make him
and I know that sounds really
British, English.
But they kept the ball better than us. They were way better than us.
Yeah.
10 men, they kept the ball. Arsenal used to do it with 10 men.
Yeah.
We couldn't get the ball off them. So I think that's the only thing we didn't do.
Ronaldinho got sent off, didn't he? Was it a challenge on you?
A horrific challenge.
Yeah.
Disgraceful challenge.
Was it a right decision from the referee to?
No. I mean, it might have been a yellow card, red card in this day and age.
Yeah.
So what, you missed the semis? Ronaldinho missed the semis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of those days. He came in, he left his foot in, he caught me on the shin pad. It was in this day and age, it might have been a red, but you're talking 20 years ago. Yeah. No chance. And I went down, just laid there. I was about to get up, and Scholes came over and went, "Stay down, son. He's getting a card out." And then it's like, well, let the referee make the decision. And I think when he pulled the red card out, I think everyone was shocked.
Yeah.
And we thought it was going to be a yellow.
Well, before that, he obviously scored that.
It's the luckiest goal ever.
So are you I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Them great players, man, they do that stuff.
Dave was distraught because he never saw it, never picked it, never. No.
And he very rarely makes a mistake.
But if you look at all their attacking players, if he did mean it, he's the only person on that pitch that had an idea that he was going to do it, and that's why. All the everyone was lining up. It was either the best set piece on the planet and an absolute one-off, or it was
look at the way.
It was a bit windy.
He don't miss-kick it that bad.
But the way you actually watch him and the way he hits it, it's like he actually goes that far wide. It's not.
But I think he's trying to whip it into that dipping one. No, that dipping one over the defence, dropping onto sort of the back of the 6-yard box, and he just catches it a little bit wrong.
And as well, his celebration as well, because he pointed to the benches to say,
"Told you."
I told you. I don't know.
The only way I'm going to say question is because it went far post. I'm thinking the gap is linear.
Yeah.
So that may be the issue. But
to even think about, he might do because he was special.
Yeah.
But to loop it over the goalkeeper from that distance,
I'm giving him the credit because one, I don't want to blame David Seaman, but also I want to. Them great players do great things.
You mentioned Dave Seaman. We've seen obviously Beckson making mistakes in the World Cup. How was David after the game?
He was devastated.
He had tears in his eyes after.
Well, I think he realised it was his last World Cup. As a few of those players, maybe 1 or 2 players did, and it was sort of the end of an era for them. Keown, Southgate, Dave as well, and I think he just saw it as he felt that he'd let everyone down. But some of the saves he made in that game, by the way, were unbelievable. In the Argentina game, where we had to win, I mean, it was backs against the wall. There was one point, I think Teddy Sheringham cleared 2 off the line in the last few minutes. It was, and I think it's always really harsh for goalkeepers because Dave had been unbelievable for us and unbelievable for England throughout. But it comes down to one mistake or fluke goal. I think it's a fluke goal, whatever it is. And that's what people remember him for.
And did he come in and say, like most players do, did he apologise or did he...
it was hard because me and Rio got whizzed off to the drugs testing room. And it was horrific because you have a quick lap of the pitch, applaud the flans, and then obviously you're looking to sort of console with your teammates and staff and everybody else, and we were just taken away to the drugs room and sat there for 3 hours trying to have a piss.
Yeah.
And it's like, and
was you in with the other? Was there any other Brazil lads in with you at the same time?
Cafu and Ronaldinho. Brilliant.
Buzzing their heads up.
Do you know what? I said Cafu was unbelievable. Was the most humble, respectful person on the planet. Gave me a shirt, and swapped shirts and went out, and was just sat there, very, very quiet. Was brilliant. Ronaldinho was in pure party mode.
Yeah, man.
And there's only just 4 of you in a room.
But Ronaldinho, he was young though.
But there's a room. It's not
He
much.
was
big,
young.
yeah,
Imagine that's our boys.
Yeah, but
Let's
it's
call
not-
of our squad right now.
It's
that
not
go
much.
in party mode.
It's not much bigger than this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you've got a drugs tester per person. Watching you like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything that you do. And Cafu sat there,
Yeah.
very respectful, just sitting down, just waiting, drinking water, whatever.
He'd done it before though, remember?
But Ronaldinho's like, bearing in mind he's been sent off as well.
Yeah.
He's jumping around,
But
celebrating.
he scored the winner. Let me help you out. If I scored the winner
Singing, dancing.
in a quarter final,
But in a room with the 2 other lads that are in the other team.
There was a point where I was thinking,
I don't know, you know.
I might have to just go and like swing a right hook at him.
Really?
You're like, you're hurting, you're upset,
Yeah.
and it's a small room,
Yeah.
and it's in your face. It's like, all right, and you've got
Cafu didn't say nothing either.
he was just very respectful, just sat there quietly, said, congratulations, well done, swap shirts, and you're like, you know what, just.
But Ronaldinho was full Grealish.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. But
and
then forward players are like that.
a bit more.
Defenders ain't going to be doing that.
Yeah.
No.
Defenders ain't going to be in there partying. Forward players that.
Of course, you're
that's
gutted.
their
You're hurt.
personality.
It's difficult to take at that point. Very, very difficult. Just what I must have drunk about 15 pints of water.
Do you think he was in there with Gazza? You think he's going to be diplomatic? You think he's going to be in there be like, oh, lucky mate. He's going to be in there raving.
I think it's just lucky Keown won in there.
Look, Brazil, that was then. Obviously, they went on to win the tournament that year. A great chance for them to do it this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, coming into it, you look at the 2 South Americans and France, you probably go to the strongest squads, best teams in form coming into it. France have had just a ridiculous amount of injuries. They've been very, very unlucky. They're still very, very strong.
That's what I mean, yeah.
But that's going to be, Pogba, Kante. They've had. It's been tough on them. Benzema. They've had some world-class players that are out. Argentina didn't start particularly well, coming into it on an incredible run. Obviously, that's now gone. They might do a Spain and pick up from there. Brazil will be thereabouts. I don't think there's no sort of team really now that you look out and go, they should win it. Belgium have got a chance. Yeah. If they get it right, they never seem to get it right.
Joleon?
Never rule out the Germans either.
Yeah. Having seen the games now,
Yeah.
I think our chance of winning it is stronger than.
Yeah.
I didn't see. I see we could win it, obviously, but having seen the games, I know not everyone's played, but I'm going to say us and France because I think we're the only teams that have lived up to the expectation of what we expect.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? I don't think there's one outstanding team where you go, oh yeah, they should. It's like when in '02 you go in Argentina and Brazil then were the favourites.
Brazil are strong though. Brazil's balance like equally as strong at the back and up front.
Yeah.
I think
all round.
There's other teams that like you talk about France, a bit light in midfield, not weak, but a bit lighter than say the forward line or the defensive line. Where again, Brazil, I'm like, they're not poor anywhere, are they?
It's gonna be interesting who the surprise is because there's always a surprise team.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's England. We're the surprise and we win.
Love that. Love that. Who are you tipping to win? Just before we go, wrap up.
I'm going to go Brazil still.
Brazil.
I said Argentina before the tournament. I'm taking that back. Taking that way back.
Spain.
No, I'm taking it back. I don't care. What I've seen, no. So I'm going to say...
We're going to clip this and this might come back to get you.
Yeah, clip it. I'm going to say...
But that's what football does, isn't it?
Yeah.
It always comes back to haunt you.
Yeah.
England or France? England or France?
It needs to be one.
That's a quarter final. Whoever wins the quarter final.
Yeah.
Well, potentially, if it goes the way that you.
I'm never right. So I'm going to say
France.
Mbappe did look frightening.
He's not bad,
didn't
he?
He's all right. He's all right.
He's half decent.
What a great show, Dan. Thanks very much for coming down.
Cheers,
it's been superb. Joleon, thank you as well because you took a knock on the ankle.
Whoa!
Hey, come on,
between me and you. One knee and that over there.
He said you come down on one leg, so you're in the hot seat. Great debut. You're back next week. We've got another guest coming in. Remember to find us on the Joe YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcast from. You have been watching All to Play For, brought to you by Joe and VirginBet. Enjoy the World Cup, and we'll see you next week.
You've been watching All to Play For, brought to you by Joe and VirginBet.